Food court. I'm just looking for this last. I'm looking for this great fucking. I've been flipping through this book, but Zizek in Courage of Hopelessness says, the last thing we see before we see real, genuine social antagonism is democracy. And what I love, and I don't know if this has a place in our conversation, but I love to see in a sort of Schadenfreudistic way. Oh, is that a word? Schadenfreudistic? Sure.
Super Freudian.
Super calafragalistic Schadenfreudistic. But like democracy fucking really failed the COVID crisis. And democracy is really fucking failing the ecological crises. And like there's no amount of elections you can fucking hold that's gonna cure global warming. And there's no amount of elections you can fucking hold that's gonna basically smudge COVID, right? We need I think we still exist in an era in which we think we're ahistorical. Like we talk about, when you mentioned the First World War and the Bergson quote, I was like, okay, here we go. We got history coming in. History's here, baby, to teach us something. We are in a motherfucking historical moment, whether we like it or not. But we are so terrified to be historical. And I feel like Heidegger's waiting in the wings, cackling, however Heidegger would cackle in the Black Forest, But like we have lost the ability to understand our daily lives as being part of the properly ontological, which is historical. Like I'm gonna live my sorry little life without a goddamn cause, and that, my friends, is the lack of a collective, a genuine collective, and that's, I think, the worst effect of capitalism, and I think that's the worst effect of an ineffective left is being able to, not based on class, not based on some fucking status, but like a collective effort, a collective concern. And Peter, like you said, the skeptical thing, which is like when we were all together for the health workers at the beginning, it felt so close to being real.
Yeah.
And then retroactively we go, God, that was disingenuous.
It's so silly, yeah.
Fuck, that was silly. But it's like, okay, so that didn't work. And I think Zizek's point in this article is, go ahead, pick, throw a fucking dart at the board. Right now you could choose anything as means enough or as grounds enough for a proper collective, as the preface to a collective effort. But it's not, our global political situation is resistant to a collective. And that doesn't matter if you're a communist government or a capitalist. And I wonder, what do we do as people?
Put. Yeah.
What do we do as individuals here?
Is that a garbage truck or
a very loud truck? It's Thursday in Toronto. At least a Thursday in my neighborhood means it's garbage day. So I will shut up now.
It's garbage day.
So
I think he was doing a very Hegelian thing there of like showing the kind of bad faith of the intellectual.
Yeah, I mean,
the beautiful soul, maybe the one who bemoans the conditions of the world, but thinks that their distance from it constitutes a valuable position,
which is probably summed up beautifully by my last little tirade there. Am I the beautiful soul? And but what I think actually is really important here is like, at what point does the beautiful soul actually, if the beautiful soul can internalize their own, bullshit, what comes after that, right? Like, who's actually taking my disingenuous or my disavowed stance and making it into something collective? Like am I the master? Am I the new fucking master? Probably not.
I mean, just if you read to the end, it's called absolute knowing, Jacob. And in a way, that's like the Zizek's thing here of like acting universally might be a version of that.
But this is also something like my sentiments that I just expressed are actually pretty fertile ground for a tyrant, for for a totalitarian leader who goes, you're disenfranchised and you don't have and so that's why I think that the beautiful soul of the left, including one that I obviously prescribe to, is actually dangerously totalitarian, right? And and we see the failure of Bernie, and then like the kind of rise of Trumpism sort of everywhere, right? And all the mock Trumpisms that we see in all over the world. Like there's nobody knows what to do with the beautiful soul energy. And I don't think, like, I'm the one who's read the least amount of Hegel here, but like, sure, we could be critical of the beautiful soul, but like, who's doing something with that energy? Like, politically.
Well, maybe this lies in Zizek's notion of like, we need a new master.
That's right.
Yes, he writes a stance that allows us to avoid the traps of the critical stance of the kind of always detached kind of like expert or intellectual, and also avoids falling back into kind of just saying, "Oh, this is just the way the world works," the kind of mundane, like oh, there's not really anything to avoid this catastrophe.
انشوار 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 انشوار